अनादिनिधनं विष्णुं सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं लोकाध्यक्षं स्तवन् नित्यं सर्वदुःखातिको भवेत् ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनं लोकनाथं महद्भूतं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम् एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं स्तवैरर्चयन्नरः सदा परमय्यो महत्तेजः परमय्यो महत्तपः परमय्यो महद्ब्रह्म परमय्यः परायणं पवित्राणां पवित्रय्यो मङ्गलानां च मङ्गलं दैवतं देवतानां च भूतानां यो व्ययः पिता यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि भवन्त्यादियुगागमे यस्मिंश्च प्रलयं यान्ति पुनरेव युगक्षये तस्य लोकप्रधानस्य जगन्नाथस्य भूपते विष्णोर्नाम सहस्रं मे शृणु पापभयापहम् यानि नामानि गौणानि विख्यातानि महात्मनः ऋषिभिः परिगीतानि तानि वक्ष्यामि भूतये. So until this was the Purva Petika, which was finished in the previous lecture. And then we had started the Vishnu Sahasranama Mula Bhashya for the various namas and the Shankaracharya Bhashya of that. Before that, it is customary to say the Rishi Devata Chandas and the Dhyana Shlokas for any shloka or mantra rashi as per Mantra Shastra. So even though Shankaracharya does not write a bhashya for that, we can quickly go over a Sankshepartha for those slokas that we use in the daily chanting and then proceed into the bhashya which we had already started. So the Shankara bhashya ends with Tani Vakshyami Bhutage and then goes directly to Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaraha. The slokas in between are not in the actual Mahabharata. For example, the Risharnam Sahasrasya Vedavyaso Mahamunihi. The entire Mahabharata in which the Anushasana Parva and the Vishnu Sahasranama Bhashya, Vishnu Sahasranama Moola Grantha is in, was written by Vedavyasa. So he is not going to say that I wrote this, right? So like that, these slokas have been added for the chanting krama. Because for any Vishnu Sahasranama, if you are doing Japa, if we know the Rishidevata Chandas and say it, that will give us the Purna Phalita. So for that, they have given the Rishidevata Chandas in a Slokatmaka or in the form of a Sloka in the Anushtup Chandas, which is Rishir Namnam Sahasrasya Vedavyaso Mahamunihi Chando Anushtup Tatha Devaha Bhagavan Devaki Sutaha. So the Namnam Sahasrasya Rishihi Vedavyaso Mahamunihi. Mahamunihi Vedavyasaha. The great sage is the Rishi of the all of the thousand names. Namnam Sahasrasya. And the Chandas or meter is the Anushtup Chandas. Chando Anushtup. Tatha Devo Bhagavan Devaki Sutaha. And the Deva is the Bhagavan Devaki Sutta, Lord Narayana. So the shloka was Namnam Sahasrasya Rishihi Mahamunihi Vedavyasaha Chando Nushtup Devaha Bhagavan Devaki Sutaha. And as we know, the Anushtup Chandas consist of 32 aksharas with two vakyas, with 16 aksharas in each vakya. So this entire grantha is in the Anushtup Chandas, and the Deva is or Devata or the God which we are praising in this is Bhagavan Devaki Sutaha. So the shloka is Rishir Namnam Sahasrasya Vedavyaso Mahamunihi Chando Nushtup Tatha Devo Bhagavan Devaki Sutaha. And the next shloka is Amrutam Shudbhavo Bijam Shaktir Devaki Nandanaha Trasama Hridayam Tasya Shantyarthe Viniyujyate. Sasya Stotrasya Bijam Amrutam Shudbhavaha. The Bijam or the seed syllable as we have in Mantra Shastras, the Bijaksharas. Like this, if we take this Vishnu Sahasranama Slokatmaka Grantha as per the Mantra Shastra Sampradaya, the Bijam is the Amrutam Shudbhavaha. So we can see that all these are coming from various shlokas. So Amrutam Shudbhava Bhanur Shaktir Devakinandana. Like that. Amrutam Shudbhava Bhanu Shashabindhu Sareshwaraha is that shloka. So here Amrutam Shudbhava Bijam Shaktir Devaki Nandana. The Shakti is Devaki Nandana or Sutta of Devaki. Trisama Hridayam Tasya. And the Hridaya of that mantra is the Trisama, which are the Brihat, Rathantara, and Vamadevya Samas. So, Trisama, Samagas, Sameti Kavacham. So, all these things we see. So, the Trisama is very popularly used in all the Yajna Yagadi rituals. And even in Veda, we see Agnagyo Vaitragi Vidyadevaganah Panthagarha Patyarik Prithivirathantaramanvaharyapachanai Yajurantarikshamam Vamadevyam Ahavani Yasamusavargo Loko Brahat Tasmat Agnin Paramam Vadanti. So here also we see the reference of the Vamadevya, Burhat and Rathantara Samas. So these three main Samas are very special in the Samaveda. So that is the Hridayam. Hridayam Trisama Shantyarthe Viniyujjate. And it is the Viniyoga. So when we use a mantra, we say, where is the Viniyoga? Right? In this Viniyoga. So Shantyarthe Viniyujjate. It is being used for Shanti or for peace. Manashanti. Vishnum Jishnum, next sloka is Vishnum Jishnum Mahavishnum Prabhavishnum Maheshwaram Anekarupa Daityan Tannamami Purushottamam. So this is a namaskara to Vishnu. So I am doing namaskara Vishnum Namami. And we have all these other adjectives for that Devata, which are Vishnum, Jishnum, Mahavishnum, Prabhavishnum, Maheshwaram, Anekarupa Daityantam, Purushottamam. So Vishnum, the one that is omnipresent, that is always in all the deshas, that is Vishnum. Jishnum, the one that always has Jaya, the ever victorious, Jishnum. Mahavishnum, we can take from Vishati iti Vishnu. So we can take as the great provider. Prabha Vishnu, the one that is supremely powerful. Maheshwaram, the supreme Lord. Aneka Rupa Daityantam, and the destroyer of various forms of Rakshasas. Daitya means Rakshasas or Asuras. So Aneka Rupa Daityantam, the destroyer of the multiple forms of Rakshasas. And Purushottamam, the Uttama Purusha, that Tam Vishnum Namami. So I am doing namaskara to that Ishvara. And then we have the Dhyana shlokas. The first Dhyana shloka is क्षीरोदन्वत्प्रदेशे शुचिमणिविलसत्सैकते मौक्तिकानां मालाक्लुप्तासनस्थस्फटिकमणिनिभैर्मौक्तिकैर्मण्डिताङ्गः शुभ्रैरभ्रैरधभ्रैरुपरि विरचितैर्मुक्तपीयूषवर्षैः आनन्दीनः पुनीयादिनलिनगदा नलिनगदा शङ्खपाणिर्मुकुन्दः क्षीर उदन्वत्, the ocean of milk, Pradeshe, in that region, Shuchi Mani, Vilasat Saikade Mauktikana. So, of these Shuchi Mani, these pure gems, Vilasat Saikade, Saikade means the Sikata, coming from the Sikata or the sands. Mauktikana, Mauktika means of the pearls. Mala Klipta Sanastaha, the one that is seated on a throne of garlands. Asanastaha, Mala Klipta, Asanastaha, Sphatika Nibhaihi, Mauktikaihi Manditangaha. And he who is adorned with all these crystal like pearls, Sphatika Mani Nibhaihi, Mauktikaihi. Mauktika means pearls. Manditangaha, his Sharira is adorned by those. Shubhraihi, Abhraihi, Rupa Parivirajataihi, Muktapiyusha Varshaihi. So, with all these white clouds, Shubhra and Abhra, meaning these white clouds, Rupari Virajataihi, they are shaped beautifully. Mukta Piyusha Varshaihi, and raining nectar. Piyusha means Amrita. Mukta Piyusha Varshaihi, those types of pearls. Anandi Nalina Gada Shankapanihi Mukundaha Punitat. Anandi meaning one with Ananda. Nalina meaning Kamala, lotus. Gada, the mace. Shankapanihi, the one with the Panchajanya in his hand. And Mukundaha, the one that gives mukti. Punitat, may purify is the shloka. So this is one dhyana of Sri Vishnu in the Kshira Pradesha. The next dhyana is Bhuf Pado Yasyanabhihi Vyeta Suraniras Chanda Suryo Chanetre Karnavasa Shirodhyor Mukhamapi Dahano Yasya Vasthe Yamabdhi Antasthai Yasya Vishwam Suranara Kakago Bhogi Gandharva Daityehi Chitram Ram Ram Yathetam Tribhuvana Vapusham Vishnumisham Namami. So the Pado Yasya Pado Bhuhu Nabihi Vyoma प्राणः अनिलः नेत्रे चन्द्रसूर्यो कर्णौ दिशः शिरः द्यौः मुखमग्निः उदरम् अब्धिः यस्य अन्तः विश्वं रम्यते तं त्रिभुवनवपुषं विष्णुम् ईशं नमामि. So, like how we have in the Sri Rudra, the Apatarana Bhastalanta Bhuvana Brahmandama Visphurat, like that, a similar dhyana for Vishnu is here. So, Yasya Pado Bhuhu, the feet are the earth. Nabhihi Vyoma, the navel is the Vyoma or the sky. Pranaha Anilaha, and the prana is Vayu, Anilaha. Netre Chanda Suryo, and the two eyes are the Chandra and the Surya. Karnau Dishaha, and the ears, the two ears are the Dishaha are the directions. Shiraha Dyauhu, the head is the Akasha or the Dyauhu, the sky, uh, the heaven, the Swargaloka. Mukham Agnihi, the face or the mouth is Agni. Udaram Abdhihi, Abdhihi means ocean, like how we say Kshirabdhi. So Abdhi means ocean. The Udaram or the stomach is the Abdhi. Yasya Antaha Vishwam Ramyate. Tam Tribhuvana Babusham Vishnum Isham Namami. So whoever is in the Jagat and Antar Vishwam Ramyate, or who causes happiness for that, Tam Tribhuvana Babusham Vishnum Isham Namami. The Lord of the three Bhuvanas, Vapusham, the one with the Sharira, Tribhavana Vapuhu means the body has the three Shariras. Vishnum, Isham, Namami. Isham means the ruler. Vishnum, as we saw before, is the Sarva Vyapi. So that type of Ishvara I am doing Namaskara to. Yasya Antar Vishwam Ramyate. So he is the entire Jagat, and the entire Jagat is within him only. The next dhyana is the Shantakaram dhyana. शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्. So Shantakaram, Shanta Akaram. Akara means Swarupa, Rupa, form. Shanta Akaram, the one who with a peaceful Rupa. Bhujaga Shayanam. Bhujaga, as we know, is Sarpa. Paryaya for snake is Bhujaga. Bhujaga Shayanam, the one that is reclining on the Anantanaga. Padmanabham, the one with a lotus navel, from where Brahma got Utpatti. Padmanabham, Suresham, Suranam Ishaha, the Lord of all lords. Sura is the opposite of Asura. As you saw, Aditya, Daitya, like we saw. Um, Aditi, the sons of Aditi and Diti. Like that, the sons of Diti are called Daitya, sons of Aditi are called Aditya. So the Sura is a similar paryaya for that, meaning Devata. So there, Isha means the Lord of that. So the Lord of the Lords. Vishwa Adharam. The Adhara means the support or the base for the entire Vishwa, the universe. Meghavarnam, the one that is in the Varna or color of the Megha cloud. Lakshmi Kantam. Lakshmi Kantam means the Pati of Lakshmi Devi. Yogi Hridhyana Gamyam. So the one that is the subject of the dhyana in the heart of the yogis. Yogi hir dhyana gamyam, the one that is also realized by the yogis. Bhava Bhaya Haram, the one that removes the haram means harati, removal of the Bhava Bhaya, of all the worldly fears. Sarvaloka Ekanatham, and the one Natha or ruler of all the lokas. Sarvaloka Ekanatham. So the shloka was Shantakaram Bhujagashakinam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gaganasadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalanaganam Yogi Hridhyanagamyam Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokekanatham. The next dhyana shloka is the Meghashyam. Meghashyamam Pitakosheyavasam Srivatsankam Kaustubhodbhasitangam Punyopetam Pundarikaagataksham Vishnum Vande Sarvalokekanatham. Meghashyamam. So, in the previous shloka we saw Meghavarnam. Now, Kidrisha Megha. So, what type of Megha, if you ask? The Megha Shyamam. Shyama means Krishna. So, the dark cloud. Pita Kausheyavasam. Pita meaning yellow. Kausheyavasam meaning the one that has the yellow vastra, the Pitambaradhara. Srivatsankam. So he has this anka or mark called the Srivatsa. Srivatsankam, uh, which is of Lakshmi. Kaustubha Udgasita Angam. Kaustubhodbhasita Angam. So shining with the Kaustubha mani. Pundarikayata Aksham. So Pundarika means we know as Kamala, lotus. So that type of eye, Pundarikayata Aksham. Vishnum Vande Sarvalokekanatham. So here also we have the same Sarvalokekanatham, the ruler of all the Ekanatha, the single ruler of all the lokas, and Tadrisham Vishnum Vande. So doing namaskara to that Vishnu with all these qualities. The next dhyana shloka is Meghashyamam नमः समस्तभूतानाम् आदिभूताय भूभृते अनेकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे. So, Namaha, Namaskarastu Samastabhutanam Adibhutaya Bhubhrate. So, Samastabhutanam Adibhutaya Bhubhrate Aneka Vishnave Prabhavishnave Namaha. Samastabhutanam Adi. Adi means the origin of all beings. Bhutaya, Bhubhrate, to the primordial being, Bhutaya, and Bhubhrate, the sustainer, Bhrata, meaning the one that takes the bhara of the earth, Bhubhrate, Aneka Rupa Rupaya, to the one that has all the many rupas, Vishnave, Prabha Vishnave, the Vishnu that is Prabha Vishnave, that is supremely powerful, all powering Vishnu. So to that Vishnu again namaskara. And then another dhyana shloka. Sashankha chakram sakirita kundalam sapita vastram saraseruhekshanam सरसीरुहेक्षणं सहारवक्षस्थलशोभिकौस्तुभं नमामि विष्णुं शिरसा चतुर्भुजम्. So Vishnu is adorned with the Shankha and Chakra, the Panchajanya Shankha and the Sudarshana Chakra. Sa Shankha Chakram, Sa Kirita Kundalam, and he has the Kirita, the crown, and the Kundala, he has the Makara Kundala. Keyuravan Makara Kundalavan Kiriti Hari Hiranmaivapuhu Dhrutu Shankha Chakra is what we say. So he has the Makara Kundala. So the earrings that he wears are in the shape of a Makara or crocodile. Sapita Vastram with the yellow Vastra. Saraseru Hekshanam, the one with the Ikshana or the eyes of the lotus. Sahara Vakshasthala Shobhikaustubham. So, in the Vakshasthala, he has the Kaustubhamani, Shobhi Kaustubham, Namami Vishnum Shirasa. With my Shiras, I do pranamas to uh, Vishnu. Shirasa Chaturbhujam. And another adjective for Vishnu is the Chaturbhuja, the one with four arms. So Sarasiruhekshanam Sahara Vakshasthala Shobhikaustubham. So whose chest is adorned with the garland and is also has the Kaustubhamani. Chaturbhujam with four arms. Shirasa Namami. I bow with my head to that Vishnu. सशङ्खचक्रं सकिरीटकुण्डलं सपीतवस्त्रं सरसीरुहेक्षणं सहारवक्षस्थलशोभिकौस्तुभं नमामि विष्णुं शिरसा चतुर्भुजम्. The next shloka is छायायां पारिजातस्य हेमसिंहासनोपरि आसीनमम्बुधश्याममायताक्षमलङ्कृतम्. छायायां पारिजातस्य, the parijata vriksha, and that chaya, within that chayayam parijatasya hema simhasanopari. Hema means suvarna, simhasana upari asinam ambudashyamam. So namaskara, yeah, the continuation of the namaskara is to chayayam parijatasya chayayam hema simhasana upari asinam ambudashyamam. Ambuda is the megha again. Meghashyamam is a ambudashyamam again is a paryaya for that dark rain cloud. Ayataksham. Ayata means wide. So the one with long eyes. Ayataksham alankritam. So the one that has all the Vishesha Alankaras, as we saw the Pita Vastradi Alankaras. So that type, another dhyana for Vishnu. So when we are doing the Vishnu Sahasranama Parayana, before that we have to do the dhyana of that and dhyana of that Vishnu to get the Purna Phalita. So for that they have given all these dhyanas. But then again in the Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta Artha, all of these are again all just like Vibhutis for that Eka Brahman. So this is all the, if you take as the Saguna form, we can look at all these shlokas and do dhyana in this way as a means for Chitta Shuddhi. And the last dhyana shloka we see is Chandrananam Chaturbahum Srivatsankita Vakshasam Rukmini Satyabhamabhyam Sahitam Krishnam Ashrage. So before we saw it as Devaki Nandana, here it is specifically said as the form of Krishna Chandra Ananam. Ananam means Mukham. So Chandrananam, the one that has a face that is shining like the moon or a face like the moon. Chaturbahum, again we saw Chaturbhujam, Chaturbahum. So the one with four arms. Srivatsa Ankita Vakshasam, the one that has the, in the Vakshasthala, in the chest, he has the Srivatsa Ankita or Anka Chinha. Rukmini Satyabhamabhyam Sahitam. So the Krishna who is not just alone, but with the bharyas of Rukmini and Satyabhama. So who is with these two patnis, Rukmini Satyabhamabhyam Sahitam, accompanied by with Krishnam Ashraye. Ashraye means I take refuge in. I do Sharanagati too. I take refuge in that Krishna with these rupas. So this is the uh, dhyana shlokas. So as we saw, Shankaracharya did not write the bhashya for these dhyana shlokas. But for a purnatva, I thought it was good to just at least give a sankshepa artha for this. And then continuing with the shlokas that we had seen in the previous class. So for we had started the Namavali bhashya. So the first shloka was Om Vishwam Vishnurva Shatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhuta Krit Bhuta Bhrit Bhavo Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavanaha. So these words should be Vishwam Vishnuhu Vashatkaraha Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhuta Krit Bhuta Bhrit Bhavaha Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavanaha. So these shlokas have This single shloka has 9 namas or names. So of that we saw different uh, meanings for the first word, Vishwam. So for that we saw multiple arthas. First one was Vishwasya Jagataha Karanatvena Vishwam Ityuchade Brahma. So the being the cause of the universe, Brahman itself is called as Vishnu. Vishwasya Jagataha Karanatvena Vishwam Ityuchate Brahma. So that Brahman, which is known as the Karana of the entire Jagat, that is one Vakya or derivation for Vishwam. And the next one was Parasmat Purushat na bhinnam idam Vishwam Paramartaha Tena Vishwam iti abhidhiyate Brahma. So the universe is Brahman, as it is not different from Brahman. So the entire universe is Brahman because the Brahman is the universe and there is nothing different from that. This is non-dual. Tena Vishwam iti abhidhiyate Brahma. The second artha of Vishwam is and then the third artha we saw was Vishati iti Vishwam Brahma, the one that enters, that one that creates and enters the creation. Tat srishtva tadevanupravishat is what the Upanishad says. So after doing Srishti, we see the Srishti, Sthiti and Samhara. So for all those Srishti, Sthiti and Samhara, yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yat prayanti abhisamvishanti, which is that Tatasa Lakshana of Brahman. For all of those, we have different arthas. So Vishati iti Vishwam Brahma and Samhrado Bhutani Vishanti Yasmin. And Samhrado in the Samhara at the end, Yasmin Bhutani Vishanti, that into which everything that is created enters in Samaya. So from the Srishti, Sthiti, and Laya perspectives, we have these four arthas of Vishwam, which were Vishwasya Jagataha Karanatvena Vishwam Mityuchate Brahma, being the cause of the universe, is known as Brahman, is known as Vishwam. Parasmat Purushat na bhinnam idam Vishwam Paramartaha Tena Vishwam iti abhidhiyate Brahma. The universe is Brahman, as it is not different from Brahman, is the second meaning. Vishati iti Vishwam Brahma, the one that enters, and more specifically, the one that creates and enters the creation is the third artha. And samhrado bhutani vishanti yasmin, yat prayanti abhisam vishanti, that into which everything that is created enters in the dissolution or pralaya, is the meaning of Vishwam. So we had seen all of this. And then he goes into the meaning of the Omkara, which we had ended with in the previous lecture. And the last sloka we had seen was Etadhyevaksharam Brahma, Etadhyevaksharam Param, Etadhyevaksharam Nyatva, Yo Yadichhati Tasya Tat. So etat hi evaksharam Brahma. So this akshara, this ekakshara is indeed Brahma. As we see in Upanishad, Om iti Brahma. So this Omkara is a Brahmavachaka Shabda. That's why in the pranayama mantras also we see Om Bhuhu, Om Bhuvaha, Ogum Savaha. The meaning of this is this Om or this Brahman is Bhuloka. This Brahman is Bhuvarloka. The Brahman is Suvarloka. Like that, we are saying the entire Jagat is nothing different from Brahman. So this was that Etad hi evaksharam Brahma, Etat hi evaksharam Param. So this is the supreme akshara. Etadhyevaksharam Nyatva Yo Yadichhati Tasya Tat. And the one that knows this. So knowing this, etadhyevaksharam Nyatva yaha yat ichhati tasya tat. So he attains what he desires, or Brahman. So Brahmaveda Brahmaiva Bhavati, we see, or Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. So whoever knows this Omkara Tattva obtains indeed whatever he desires. iti Gatake. So in the Kathopanishad we see this Vakya. And then the next quotation Shankaracharya gives is Etadvai Satyagama Paranja Brahma Gadonkaraha. So there's a samvada here to Satyakama. Hey Satyakama, this syllable Omkara, this syllable Om is the higher and lower Brahman. Param cha aparam cha Brahma yat Omkara iti upakramya ityupakramya and concludes thus. Yaf punaretam trimatrena omityeneva aksharena param purusham abhidhyayita. यः पुनः एतं त्रिमात्रेण ओमित्येतेनेवाक्षरेण परं पुरुषम् अभिध्यायेत. So that dialogue that starts with Satyakama, Sambodhana to Satyakama, that this Omkara is the higher and lower Brahman, concludes, Iti Upakramya, if he meditates on this Supreme Purusha, Yaha Punaretam Trimatrena Omityeneva Aksharena Param Purusham Abhidhyayita. Abhidhyayita means meditation. So if he meditates on the Supreme Purusha by this same syllable Om of three matras of Akara, Ukara, and Makara is iti Prashnopanishadi. This is all just to say the Pranava Mahima. And then Om iti Brahma, Om iti idam sarvam. So we see in Taittiriya Upanishad, Om iti Brahma, Om iti idagum sarvam. So this sarvam is again paryaya for Jagat and Vishwam. So sarvam, Jagat, Vishwam, these are all the Brahmavachaka Shabdas themselves. So Om, Atha, these are all also Brahmavachaka Shabdas. So Om is Brahman and Om is Idam Sarvam. All of this, the entire universe, the entire Jagat is Brahman and nothing apart from it. Om iti idam sarvam iti Taittiriyopanishadi iti Yajurveda. So the Yajurveda Aranyaka contains this Taittiriyopanishad. So he says iti Yajurveda Aranyake tadyatha shankuna sarvani parnani santranani evam omkarena sarva vak santranna omkara evedam sarvam iti Chandogye. And the Chandogya Upanishad says, as all leaves are attached to the stalk, so is all speech, all words attached to the Omkara. So the origin or all vak is the Omkara. Tadyatha shankuna sarvani parnani santranani evam Omkarena sarva vak santranna Omkara evedam sarvam. Thus the Omkara is indeed the entire Jagat evam idam sarvam iti Chandogye and Omityetat aksharam idam sarvam ityupakramya. So another quotation from Mandokya Upanishad, Omityetat aksharam idam sarvam. And again now he quotes from Ityupakramya. So starting from this and ending at Pranavo hyaparam brahma pranavascha parasmritaha apurvo nantaro bhahyaha anaparaha pranavo vyayaha. So this Omkara is the lower as well as the higher Brahman. Pranavo hyaparam brahma pranavascha parasmritaha apurvaha anantaraha abhahyaha anaparaha avyayaha pranavaha. So this Brahman is transcendent, unequaled, having nothing without itself, unrelated to any affect, and changeless. Avyaya. So these are the lakshanas of Pranava. Again, he continues. Sarvasya pranavo hyadihi madhyamantastatthaiva cha evam hi pranavam jnatva vishnute tadanantaram. The Omkara is the beginning, Madhya and Anta. Sarvasya for uh, of all beings of the Jagat itself. Sarvasya Pranavaha Hi Adihi Madhya the Adi, the Madhya, and the Anta. तथा एव च एवं हि प्रणवं ज्ञात्वा विष्णुते तत् अनन्तरम्. So the Omkara is the beginning, middle, and end of all. And having knowing in this manner, Jnatva, one enjoys Vishnute after the Jnana Prapti. And he continues, Pranavam Hishwaram Vidyat Sarvasya Hridage Sthitam Sarvavyapinam Omkaram Matva Dhiro Na Shochati. Omkara is the Ishvara present in the heart of all. Sarvasya Hridage Sthitam. The Dhiraha, the wise man, knowing the Omkara Tattva to be all pervading, uh, Sarvavyapinam Omkaram Matva Dhiraha na shochati. There is no dukkha for that person. Dhiraha means the wise person that knows this Tattva. एवम् अमात्रो नन्तमात्रश्च द्वैतस्योपशमः शिवः ओङ्कारो विदितो येन स मुनिर्नेतरो जनः. So he who has the known as the Omkara as the Amatra or without a matra, without the note, the Ananta Matra, the one with endless notes, and the where all illusion or Maya dissolves itself, the place where all Maya gets nasha, and the all bliss is alone the Munihi and no other. Sa Munihi na itaraha janaha. So, na itaraha janaha, not other people, not another person. So, who is a Muni is the one that knows the amatro nantamatrascha, amatraha anantamatrascha, dvaitasya upashamaha shivaha, omkaro vidito yena, samunir netaro janaha. So, saha eva munihi, na itaro janaha. So, he is the Muni, the person that knows this jnana of which Dvaita gets nasha, Dvaitasya upashamaha and Shivaha or Mangalaha. Ityanta Mandukyopanishad. And he quotes Shruti, Om Tad Brahma, Om Tad Vayuhu, Om Tad Atma, Om Tat Satyam, Om Tat Sarvam, Ityadi Shruti Bihi. So Om is Brahman, Om is Vayu, Om is Satyam, and Om is Sarvam. Om Tadatma, Om is the Atma, Om is Satyam, and Om is Sarvam. As you saw, Satyam is also a Lakshana of Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And Sarvam is Jagat. Atma is none other than this Brahman. And Vayuhu. So Akashad Vayuhu. All the Panchabhutas, everything. As we say, Namo Brahmane, Namaste Vayu. So that Vayu is also none other than Omkara or Brahman. And then from the Gita, he quotes multiple shlokas. Omityekaksharam Brahma Vyaharan Mam Anusmaran Yaha Prayati Tyajan Deham Sayati Paramam Gatim. Omiti eva Aksharam Brahma. Aksharam meaning the one that is indestructible without any kshara. Brahman. Omite Kaksharam Brahma Vyaharan Mam Anusmaran. Reciting and by doing dhyana of Ishvara. Mam Anusmaran. So Krishna says this. Yaha prayati tyajan deham sayati paramam gatim. So, like we see in other shlokas, Tyajatyante Kalevaram, Tam Tameveti Kaunteya. Here also he says Tyajan Deham. So, whoever at the final moment is doing japa of Omkara and dhyana of the Brahma Tattva, यः प्रयाति त्यजन् देहं स याति परमां गतिम्. He attains the supreme gati. So this is another mahima of Omkara Pranava. And all of this is being said because it starts with Om Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkara. So for that, this is all being told. यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति विशन्ति यद्यतयः वीतरागाः यत् इच्छन्तः ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति तत्ते पदं संग्रहेण प्रपक्ष्ये. यत् अक्षरं वेदविदः वदन्ति. So that akshara, that the knowers of the Vedas, that they chant, vadanti. Yadaksharam vedavido vadanti. Vishanti yat yatayaha vitaragaha. Yat icchantaha brahmacharyam charanti. Tat te padam sangrahena pravakshye. So yat icchantaha means while desiring brahmacharyam charanti. tat te padam sangrahena pravakshye. So again the Omkara Tattva is being said here. Rasoham. So to clarify, yat aksharam vedavidaha vadanti vishanti yat yatayaha vitaragaha. So yatayaha means the yatis, the sannyasis, vitaragaha, the one without all these ragadveshas, or the vitaragaha means gadaragaha, the one that the people that have left all their desires and free from attachment, what where they enter. Yat icchantaha brahmacharyam charanti. By desiring, what do they practice this brahmacharya or this brahmopasana and going the path of Brahman. Tat te padam sangrahena pravakshe. And that state or goal, padam, I will explain to you is the sloka that Krishna tells Arjuna. And the next quotation Acharya gives is, Shankaracharya gives is, रसोहम अप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशि सूर्ययोः प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दः खे पौरुषं नृषु. रसः अहम अप्सु कौन्तेय. So I am that flavor or that rasa in the water. Apsu Kaunteya Prabha Asmi Shashi Suryayoho. So I am that Prabha or that shine of the Shashi and the Surya. I am the light, that Kanti of the Shashi and Surya. Pranavaha Sarva Vedeshu. I am the Pranava or the Omkara of all the Vedas. Sarva Vedeshu Shabdaha Khe Paurusham Nrishu. And I am the sound in the Akasha. Khe means in Akasha, Akashe. Paurusham Nrishu. And I am the ability, that Shakti in Nrishu, in men. Paurusham Nrishu. So the line we have to take here is Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. So Bhagavan himself tells Arjuna in Gita that he is among the Vedas, he is the Pranava. And in the Vibhuti Yoga, so this was in Jnana Vijnana Yoga, in the Vibhuti Yoga where he explicitly tells all his Vibhutis, there Krishna tells Arjuna, you can do dhyana of me as Maharshidam Bhruguraham Giramasmyekam Aksharam Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi Sthavaranam Himalaya. So, of all the Maharshis, I am Bhrugu. Girami Asmi Ekam Aksharam. Giram Yasmi Ekam Aksharam. So, of all the uh, vak, of all speech, I am the Omkara. Giram Yasmi Ekam Aksharam. Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi. And of all the yajnas, even the ones like all the Ashwamedhadi yajnas, Agnistomadi yajnas that require so many niyamas and dravyas, even compared to all of them, I am the Japa Yajna or the repetition of mantras. and Sthavaranam Himalaya. And of the Sthavaras, I am the Himalaya. Of the things that are not movable, as we see as Sthavara and Jangama. So of those, I am the Himalaya. Like that, Krishna tells in the Vibhuti Yoga. So again, the main line we have to take here is Giram Yasmekam Aksharam. And then Shankaracharya quotes Adyam cha Triksharam Brahma Trayi Yasmin Pratisthita Ekaksharam Param Brahma Pranayamah Parantapaha. So Adyam cha Triksharam Brahma, that which is first, because Pranavas Chandasamiva is what Kalidasa says in Raghuvamsha. So, like how the Pranava is the beginning of Chandas or Veda, Adyam cha Triksharam Brahma. Triksharam means the Akara, Ukara, and the Makara. That which is the first, and the three syllable Brahman, and that in which the three Vedas are uh, established. Pratisthita. Trayi Yasmin Pratisthita. As we know, Trayi is a synonym for Veda. Vedaha, Chandas, Trayi, these are all Paryaya Padas. Why did it get the name Trayi? Because Rajasama Niyaju Gumshi Sahishri Ramrita Satam. So the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, and Sama Veda, being three in number, caused the Vedas to get the name Trayi. Trayi Yasmin Pratisthita. Ekaksharam Param Brahma Pranayamaha Param Tapaha. So this Ekakshara is the uh, Param Brahma or the Brahman, and Pranayamaha is the Param Tapaha. So that is the greatest tapas. The restraining of the breath with all the Rechaka and Kumbhaka, Puraka and everything. This pranayama is the greatest tapas, and that causes supreme purity. Param tapaha. And pranavadyastrayo vedaha pranave paryavasthitaha vangmayam pranavam sarvam tasmat pranavam abhyaset. So प्रणवाद्याः त्रयो वेदाः. So the Omkara is the beginning of all the three Vedas. So Pranavadyah Triyo Vedaha Pranave Paryavasthitaha Vangmayam Pranavam Sarvam Tasmat Pranavam Abhyaset. So this Pranava should be learned and it should be practiced because it is the beginning of all three Vedas. And Pranave Paryavasthitaha. Because all things they are all residing in this pranava, which is this jagat, and vangmayam pranavam sarvam. Anything that can be said by words, that is all also pranava, and tasmat pranavam abhyasit. So by that reason, therefore, one should get this jnana of this pranava and the tattva of that. इत्यादि स्मृतेश्च विश्वशब्देन ओङ्कारः अभिधीयते वाच्यवाचकयोः अत्यन्तभेद अत्यन्तभेदाभावात् विश्वम् इति ओङ्कारः एव ब्रह्म इत्यर्थः. So, as there is no difference between what is expressed and the expression itself, the Vishwa is Pranava and hence Brahman. So, ityadi smritescha, because of all these quotations, because of all this adhara, because of all this proof, Vishwa Shabdena Omkaraha Abhidhiyate. So, the Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaraha, the first Nama Vishwam is nothing than Omkara. So by the Vishwa Shabdena, Omkaraha Abhidiyate. So the Omkara itself is being expressed, and Vacha Vachakayoho Atyanta Bheda Bhavat. Because there is no Atyanta Bheda, there is not an actual difference between the Vacha and the Vachaka, between them, because there is that is negligible, meaning that is not the supreme artha. That is, there is actually in the paramartha there is no bheda between the vachya and the vachaka, meaning the which what is being expressed and the expression itself. So Vishwam iti Omkaraha eva Brahma ityartha. So thus it can be firmly established that thus Vishwam is itself the Omkara or Pranava, and eva Brahma ityartha, and that itself is Brahman. So this is how Shankaracharya establishes this the Pranava Tatparya, and how that is no different from Vishwam and Brahman. So the Om Vishnu, of course, this Om is not said as counted as a Nama in the Vishnu Sahasranama. It is not counted as one of the thousand. But since it is said in the beginning of all Vedas and in this shloka itself, there is no difference between that and the Vishnu, of that and Vishwam. And he quotes from Chandogya Upanishad, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma Tad Jalana Iti Shanta Upasita. So the meaning is Brahman is that from which all this differentiation proceeds. Brahman is also called because of this Tajjatva, Tallatva, and Tadanatva, or the capacity for production, destruction, and preserving. So, and when everything is in one, the all the desires and everything are not likely to arise. So, hence it is to be worshipped in peace. So, all this is Brahman. So, the quotation is saying, let a person meditate on that visible world as Brahman, and in the beginning, ending, and breathing in. शांत उपासीत इति एतद् उक्तं भवति यस्मात् सर्वम् इदं विकारजातं ब्रह्म तज्जत्वात् तल्लयत्वात् तदनत्वात् च न च सर्वस्य एकात्मत्वे रागादयः सम्भवन्ति तस्मात् शांत उपासीत इति श्रुतेः. So it should be done meditation upon. It should be done upasana in the Shanta. So it is to be worshipped in peace, because when everything is in that one, all these ragadaya sambhavanti, nacha sambhavanti, nacha sarvasya ekatmatve, by everything being in that ekatma, in that ekatmatve, in that lakshana, ragadaya na sambhavanti. So these all these kama krodha, all these things they do not come. So tasmat, therefore shanta upasita iti shrutehe. So this omkara must be done dhyana of that, like that. Iti etat uktam bhavati yasma sarvam idam vikara jatam brahma. So all these vikara jatam. So this loka and everything is vikara jatam. So Brahman is that from which all these differentiation arrives. And he is called that, Brahman is called, it is called that because of the Tajjatvat, Tallayatvat, Tadanatvat cha. So because of the Tajjatva, Tallatva, and Tallayatva and Tadanatva. So the Tajjatva, meaning the capacity of production, meaning from this everything comes. Tallayatva, because all things they gets yat prayanti abhisamvishanti, they get laya in that. And Tadanatva, uh, because it also preserves everything in the sthiti rupa. And then he quotes, Shankaracharya quotes, Shruyatam dharma sarvasvam shrutva chaiva avadharyatam atmanah pratikulani paresham na samacharet. So listen to the essence of Dharma Shastra. Shruyatam dharma sarvasvam shrutva chaiva avadharyatam. And having heard it, avadharya, avadharya means you do dhyana of it and you understand it and you remember it. Avadharya. Atmanaha pratikulani paresham na samacharet. But never do anything that is injurious to either yourself or to others. So we will understand why he is quoting this when we see it all together. So Shruyatam dharma sarvasvam shrutva chaiva avadharyatam atmanaha pratikulani paresham na samacharet. And Krishna quotes, Atmopamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna sukham va yadi va dukham sayogi paramo mataha. So Atmopamyena sarvatra. So Atma Opamyena sarvatra. Atma Opamyena sarvatra. So he, through the likeness of the self, uh, Sukham va Gadiva Samam Pashyati. So who he sees everything as equal. Samam Pashyati Yaha Arjuna, hey Arjuna, Sukham va Yadiva Dukkham Sayogi Paramo Mataha. So he does not have, because of this Atmopamya, he does not have this Sukha or Dukkha. And that yogi is said to be the greatest, in my opinion. Sayogi Paramo Mataha. So this is from Bhagavad Gita. And Nirgunaha Matra Paramatmatra Dehe Vyapya Vyavasthitaha Tamaham Jnana Vigneyam Navavanye Nalanghaye. So Nirguna means without any lakshanas. The unconditioned Brahman is remaining in the body. Dehe Vyapya Vyavasthitaha, and residing in it. And that is to be perceived by knowledge. Tamaham jnana vigneyam navamanyena langhaye. So it should only be realized through jnana. And from the same thing, yadyagamairna vindeyam tamaham bhuta bhavanam krameyam tvam girim chevam hanumaniva sagaram. So if I do not perceive that Brahman, the creator of all beings, by the help of the scriptures, um, that is like if I get to that state is so pitiful that the person that is saying this in Vishnu Purana is saying that I will jump over this mountain or this barrier and uh, reach you as Hanuman did in the case of the Sagara. Hanuman iva Sagaram. Krameya iyam tva girim cha imam Hanuman iva Sagaram. So I will jump the mountain and attain you as how Hanuman crossed the ocean. So, like this, we are understanding the tattva of not only Omkara, how it should be meditated upon, and the importance of that. So, at the end of all these quotations, Shankaracharya ties them all together. But for now, we should just understand this tattva. And of course, we saw the different meanings of Vishwam. So, in the next lecture, we will continue these quotations, see how they all relate to Shankaracharya's point, and then continue with the Namavali with the Nama Vishnuhu. So Vishnuhu is the Sarvavyapi. So we will continue that in the next lecture. Dhanyavada.
मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वर के, शक्ति गणपति शारदाम्बिके शंकराचार्यर के, शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदाम्बिके के, काल भैरवर के, काली दुर्गै के, वीर धीर शूर हनुम मारुति चरणतिर्के, मल्लिकार्जुनर के, செல்வ ஜனார்தனர் கே, அம்பா பவானி கம்பத கணபதி சண்டி சாமுண்டி கே, ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ண பகவான் கே, ஸ்ரீ चक्रवासिनी के, सीताराम लक्ष्मण सहित मारुति चरणतिर्के, विद्यारण्यर के, विद्याशंकर के, वागीश्वरी के, वज्रदेग गरुड़ आंजनेयर के, श्रीवल्ली देव सेना समेत सुब्रह्मण्यर के, तुंगभद्रै के, श्रृंगनिवासिनी के, श्रृंगेरी पुरिயில் நிலைத்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகைக்கே, सच्चिदानंद शिव अभिनव नृसिंह भारती के, श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु सार्वभौमर के, श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विद्यातीर्थर के, श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु भारती तीर्थर के, श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विदुशेखर भारती के, मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वर के, शक्ति गणपति शारदाम्बिक शंकराचार्यर के, शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदाम्बिகை के, श्रृंगेरी पुरिயில் நிறைந்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகைக்கே.
Thank you so much. And we will see next month on that. So if there are any questions, please send it out to vbsyouth@svbfnorth.org. Thank you. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Harihi Om.